Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call in to the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is also now syndicated on goodtalkradio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. Oh yeah, it is showtime, and you're listening to the world-famous Relics Radio, home of 2.5 Rednecks. Want to welcome all of our live listeners on Spreaker. Want to also welcome all of our syndicated listeners on the Cutting Edge Radio Network and archive listeners that are on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Podbean, Apple Podcast, and I don't know, there's about 1 million other ones. And welcome to all of our new members that have joined the Relics Radio and Adventure in History Facebook group page. We passed 600 this week. And a couple of important announcements before we get started here tonight. You will want to be live on Relics Radio all of this month for the giveaway of the Mind Lab Equinox 600. You're going to have to be live in order to have a chance to win that. And one other thing is, I will not be running for president in 2020. I am and will remain your humble host, Digging with Seven.
And I'm your humble host, Tennessee Jeff. You caught me on that was a good one. I got hung up on that one. So.
I throw a monkey wrench in there with Jeff every once in a while. I tell you what, Jeff, I'm excited about this giveaway thing. And Mark Hoover came up with a brilliant idea to for people whenever they write in on that, and that's on the Relics Radio Facebook group page. Go there and give us a review of Relics Radio in just a few words, and then we will give you a number. And I just want to read through some of these. Ed said, I love the guests that you have on. Matthew said, I love the show because how many other talk shows just talk about digging for relics. Dennis said he likes the variety of subjects and guests. Kevin said he liked it because it's family friendly, it's educational, and he looks forward to the show each week. Kathy said that she liked the Women in Metal Detecting series. And then Dennis said that he thought it was that we had outstanding guests in February. Justin said that the show is less than 2 years old and already outstanding radio. And Jerry said Relics Radio makes me interested in history. And then another Jerry said a variety of guests with different backgrounds in treasure hunting, never the same. Scott said, I love the commercials and the geniusness. Chris said, what's not to like about Relics Radio? Bill said it's educational, informative, and a lesson in redneckedness. And Mac said, I like their accents. What do you think about those? You can't beat that. I mean, we're doing something right. And then, of course, we really like to know what we're doing right. I mean, who wants to sit around listening to 2.5 rednecks? And, I mean, it's there you go, Seven. We got all them nice comments, and everybody just loves the show. They do. They do. And we love doing it, too. And I wish that we could tell you everything that we've got on a back burner right now, getting ready to do and looking forward to doing. We've got another series that's on the back burner. Not going to tell you about that. We have got some amazing guests that are coming up. we're going to surprise you on all of that. We can't let out everything, can we, Jeff?
We sure can. And can you imagine us not having Mark Hoover? I mean,
no.
Mark Hoover is, he is the brain of this operation. And then, he come up with that good idea of people telling us what they liked about Relics Radio. And, that helped out a lot. So we appreciate the half redneck as much as anything.
Yeah, he's a half redneck, but he got more than one brain, has to, because of everything that he does. But, yeah, I agree. He has been good for this brand and good for this show, and taking us in a direction that we needed to go. And I only see good things coming from it. And we continue to grow in our marketplace. We're getting like you said, we were talking with our guests prior to coming on live on the show. We get comments from countries that we have to get somebody to interpret what they said to us.
That's right. And that's a good thing Mark's there, because he can do that. And he's working on a full redneck now, because you see his relic mobile he's working on?
Oh, yeah, with the cart thing on the back of it and everything, and I told him, I said, you got enough room for all of us, but, if we all try to pile into that thing, and there's not enough room, we can always strap Jeff on the hood.
I told him as long as they strap me down good and tight, I'd be okay.
Yeah. Hey, we got a great guest tonight, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do. We've got Eric Wallace he's the owner of Gravedigger Tools, and of course, how you doing, Eric?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hey, I appreciate you putting me on the show. We
appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah,
it's great. And then to piggyback off of the Mark Hoover, he is phenomenal. He is a phenomenal person, and hats off to him for being consistent on getting me on the show, because I didn't respond a couple times because I've been super busy, and he's been consistent. He got me, and just hats off to him.
He's that way, I tell you. He is. He is persistent, and he's not beyond picking up the phone and calling me, and saying you don't need to do that, or you can't say that, or whatever. And that's kind of what we need, isn't it? We need somebody to kind of monitor us and police us, don't we, Jeff?
Absolutely.
That's right. And some of our guests, they were real hard to get. Now, I can't say live on radio what he done to get them, because I'm pretty sure it's illegal in some states. So, he helped us out a lot. So. Legal or not.
Yeah, legal or not. That's the truth. Hey, Eric, let's begin tonight. Tell us how you got into the hobby of metal detecting.
Okay, yeah. It all started when I bought my house here in the North Olmsted Historic District. And the house I had bought was it was built in 1860. So, I was on TV and I seen the diggers, KG and Rigi, they were on there and they were digging. I'm like, man, I bet you there's some stuff in my yard. And basically that's how my relic, the love for, the relic hunting started. I'm like, it's cool, So I went out and bought a metal detector, and I went out in my backyard, and that's how it all started. I found some cool stuff. And that's basically just how it started.
Man, that's
and how I start. No, that's the piggyback off the how my shovels got started, because it happened like quickly right after that. So I don't know if you want to get into that right now, but
so when you started detecting your yard, what kind of things were you finding?
Well, I found my first thing in my flower bed. I found a large cent, a large penny. And I could barely tell what it was. I could, but I was super excited. I'm like, oh, this thing is worth a lot. It wasn't worth that much. It was tore up. But you don't know when you first get into the hobby. You think, everything is worth, what you're digging up is worth $1 million, and it's really not. It's like, then you start having a love and passion for the actual hobby itself, and that.
Yeah, that's a great first find in your yard. I'd love to find some in my yard. What was your first detector that you were using?
Okay, yeah, that was it's funny because I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a detector from Harbor Freight. I did not know any better, and I'm like, this thing ain't working for nothing. I'm digging up everything. There's nothing there. I'm just like, my yard's a mess right now. So My first actual real detector was an Ace 250, and that machine was great. It was a nice, like, beginner mid-level machine, and I found some really nice stuff in my yard with that.
Man,
that was my very first machine.
That was my very first one too, and then of course it is a great machine. But and then 7, can you imagine finding large cents in your own yard?
That, he's from Ohio, and they call those Ohio Wheaties. I'll just tell you the truth. It makes me mad that those guys find so many large cents. We don't find those, Eric, down here in the South.
Oh, wow.
And we've been told different reasons why we don't find them. They said that the merchants here didn't like copper. They wanted silver. So we find a lot of reals. We find a lot more reals than you guys do. But, I've been hunting since 1976, and I've only got 3 large cents. So that kind of tells you something. And I don't know how many reals I've got. I guess I've got 10 or 12 reals over the years.
That's how many large cents you found, right? You've had in your pocket over the years several large cents, right?
Yeah, I wish I'd have known back then and just put them up, That's the way they do me, Eric. I'm always the old man in the crowd.
Yeah, I got the old man joke.
Oh, me. And what is in your mind, and I know this is a hard question for anybody to answer, but what do you think in your mind is the best thing that you've ever dug out of the ground?
You know what? My street's Butternut Ridge Road, and I did some history. It used to be an old Native American trail. So I found some broken Native American silver jewelry, and it's in so-so condition, but it's got the turquoise in it, and that was probably I think that was my coolest find because of the history of, this being the trail and that being a part of that. So I don't know, that was one of my coolest pieces, I would think. And
everybody that we have on, I guess, Jeff, don't we ask that question to everybody? Probably.
We do. We really do. And that's one of the best finds I've heard. I mean, that's a real great find.
And most of the time, whenever people answer that question, you're not talking monetary value. You're talking about more of a historical value.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's why we got into this, though?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got all different kind of people get in this hobby for different reasons, but for the most part, I think the history behind the stuff is what's the cool thing. You learn that once you really get into it. You learn that. Not only that, my wife, she's Native American too, so it's kind of like that's kind of cool to bring that up to her.
Oh, really? What tribe would she be part of? What were her ancestors?
You're gonna hit me. You hit Winnebago.
Now that's something that you drive around.
It's a tribe.
Is that a tribe?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Now, see, my ancestors were Seminole Indians. I didn't know that.
I might. Now you're putting me on the spot now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I might have to go back and ask her.
Okay.
And then I might have to clear this up, but.
I shouldn't ask you that question then, I guess. But
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, that would make for a good find since there's some history there, with your wife and everything. What's on your bucket list that you haven't found? Let me ask it this way: what is on your bucket list that you haven't found that you think you should have found?
Oh man, yeah, that's a tough one. For one thing, first of all, I barely get a chance to go out anymore. So now you're making my bucket list that much bigger because I'm so busy. I mean, you'd have to say a gold coin for sure. I mean, that's probably on every single person's bucket list.
Yeah, I believe it is. I mean, I know it's on mine.
And it's the. I see Sam Waters pulled one out last year, I think, and I just couldn't imagine that feeling. I would probably, have a heart attack or something.
Yeah, and our buddy Matt Howell out of Virginia, he pulled one out, and I mean it was breathtaking. Of course, you can imagine.
Do you remember what Madhouse said when he dug that coin?
What am I going to do with the rest of my life?
That is exactly right. That's what I would say, is the very same thing. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? Well, I don't know about that, but I know what we've got to do right now, and that's run a commercial. We'll be right back.
Hey, Seven, we's looking good in our new Relics Radio t-shirts.
Yeah, Ken and Mark Guthrie of Detectees.com done brung them to us.
Yep. And they makes other shirts, too.
Yeah, boy. Detectees.com can handle tees for your club, hunt, or any other promotion folks may have.
They even got the Wide Pride shirts.
Yeah, them boys does the manatee crawl.
Yeah, scooting on their bellies.
That's what I said. The manatee crawl.
Looks like slugs eating jelly.
So whether you hunt horizontal or vertical, tell the folks where they need to go, TJ.
www.detectees.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's what Scott was talking about whenever he said, I love the commercials and I love the geniusness. Am I right, Jeff, or am I right?
You are right. That is a great commercial. And then don't forget to go to detectees.com for your apparel.
That's right. And not only for metal detecting apparel. If your kids play basketball right now, if they are on a travel team or a little league team or something other, get all those parents to order shirts that matches their son or daughter and their team. They can fix you up, and I guarantee you, you're going to get a good quality shirt, and you're going to get a excellent price. Am I right, Jeff?
You're right. And I mean, the best T-shirts and hoodies on the planet, Mark Hoover just said.
That is,
and I agree.
That is true. And we've got a lot of people on here that are sporting not only Relics Radio, but also Beyond Sight and Sound, American Digger, the Wide Pride, History Seeker shirts. There's all kinds of those. But if you got an event or anything, you can contact those guys and they will fix you up. Hey, Eric, in this segment of the show, we want to know how Gravedigger Tools got started.
Okay. It's basically KJ and Ray, they got me thinking about digging in my yard. So I went and digged in my yard, and it happened literally this quick. I was using a crappy shovel, and you don't know no better because you don't really. I had nobody showing me, so I broke the shovel relatively quick. And I went online and I'm looking for shovels basically for the hobby that I was starting to get into. And they pulled up some brands and they were like $60-$70. I'm like, man, what if I just made my own to start with? This is before I even had Gravediggers in my head. I'm like, I'll just make my own, And so I made one because by trade I weld and fabricate industrial equipment. That's what I do for a living as of right now still. So I'm like, I'll just make the a shovel that's not going to break, So that's how it all got started. And I went online and a couple people like, man, that's pretty cool looking, and a light bulb kind of popped in my head. So I started hand making them. Shortly after that, I started hand making them one by one, and putting them on eBay. And that's how I got started. And then you start learning about how to really make a hard, heavy duty, nice shovel. And there's a lot of steps to it that people would overlook, and that I did in the beginning, to making a shovel that's going to last and withstand what a relic hunter or a metal detector puts through. They really use and abuse these tools, and you have to make it last. So I had a lot of steps and stuff involved in the learning curve, and I'm still in learning curves, but yeah, that's how it got started. It was that just like that.
Man, they are great shovels. It was a guy, he posted earlier, a good friend of ours from Nashville, Tennessee, and he said he owns one. He said it's one of the best shovels he's ever used. So right now, how many different kind of shovels and the hand diggers do you have?
Okay, as of right now on my website, I have 0. So I have a big load that I'm working on now. But to answer your question, I have just introduced my small one. So I have the Nemesis, I have the Tombstone, and the smaller snub nose, and I have a Sidekick, which is my hand trowel or hand digger, if you want to say it. So I have 4 of them right now in my arsenal.
Yeah, I've seen your Facebook post where you've got a bunch of blades and you're ready to put a bunch of them together. So
yeah, as I'm working and they're getting more popular, I'm having to make more and more and more each run. This is my biggest run. I've had 400 spades because I have them outsourced now. There's no way you can be as consistent and make perfect shovels without getting them laser cut, machine sharpened. You know, it's getting professionally done now. I do all the fabricating, welding up. It's just the spade that's an important piece that needs to be consistent. So I have that outsourced. But yes, this is my largest order. And now with the economy the way it is, it's picking up. Manufacturing's picking up. Lead times are a little longer. So I had some waiting, some arguing back and forth with my vendors trying to get them to me. But so yeah.
What was your first shovel you ever made?
The first shovel I ever made was the Nemesis shovel. That was the very first shovel,
right.
Which I had. Yeah.
Do you still? I seen earlier it was a guy opened his on a YouTube channel, and he said y'all custom paint them. If you wanted it custom painted, do you still do that?
That was prior to when I was hand painting them. Now everything is powder coated now, so to do one-off custom colors is very hard. It's almost I just can't do it. But I do throw out limited edition colors, and I know I had this Venom green that I had on my last run, and I'm gonna tell you, people are just hounding me for this Venom green. It's a chrome. It's a chrome paint over a greenish yellow, and it's got a metallic, like it turns colors. People are just left and right. So I do have like sporadic colors that come out like that. But no custom individual colors. That would be just too hard for me to do. I do sell them. If you contact me, I will sell unpainted ones in case if you wanted to go that route. And go ahead and powder or paint. You know, people like to do that stuff. I don't. You know,
I seen your shovels on your website, and I was like, man, I wouldn't want to dig with that. I just want to hang it up somewhere.
I know, right?
The guy that had his custom painted earlier, it was Florida Gators. It was painted like the blue and blue and orange?
Yeah, blue and orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you just throw that in the river. But anyway, but it was a good looking shovel.
Now, Jeff.
Yeah, I came a long way since that.
Yeah, Jeff's from Tennessee, so those UT fans, they don't like the Gators. They don't like the Kentucky Wildcats either. But beautiful colors. There's no doubt about it, and well put together as well. I remember, and Jeff, you can chime in on this. You remember that time we went to the fort, and you got a real good signal, and it was up under a root. You remember, I've started filming on it because Jeff told me, he said, I know it's a Civil War bullet. I said, well, we'll just do a live dig on it. Well, he starts digging down. He gets into a big old root. I felt sorry for him. I finally stopped the video and just pounding and pounding and pounding on that root. Now, are all of yours serrated where they can work with roots and stuff?
Yeah, every single one of mine is serrated. And I had a small serrations prior to one of my last revision. Now this revision, I opened the serrations up on the side and I scalloped the point. So when you go into that root, before you get to the serrations, you're already chopping the root with your tip because it's scalloped. So, every single one of them is serrated.
Man, I seen, of course, doing some research, and after we found out you were going to be the guest and everything, we seen your hand digger on Oak Island, and that was pretty cool. For you, it had to have been great.
Yeah, it's a little bit backstory, and I'll tell you real quick. Gary Drayton contacted me and he wanted one of some shovels from me. And I did not respond to him. I don't know if I didn't see it or whatnot. And then he messaged me again. Well, I guess I'm going to have to take my business elsewhere and all this and that. So then I seen it. Then I'm like, oh, man, no. So I messaged him. I'm like, listen, I apologize for this. I completely apologize. And I tell you what, he is the nicest person. And you know what? He wanted my shovel. He just wanted it because it said GD. He said, this is Gary Drayton. This is my initials on it. I'm like, well, if that's the way you're going to use it. But I honestly had no idea. And I talked to him a couple times prior to that, and I had no idea he was going to have it on Oak Island at all. He messaged me one day, and he said, you're going to be proud of me, mate. And I was like, what? He's like, well, you got some major scenes in Oak Island. And I was like, I think I was eating dinner at the time, and I couldn't even finish eating. I was just, I was excited,
And if you guys haven't seen that episode, it's not in this last one that came out Tuesday. It's in the one prior to that where they're uncovering that causeway, and one of the Laginos is using that hand digger cleaning out around that causeway, the logs that are put in that. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Amazing, I tell you what.
And I told Jennifer, of course, I seen the video, and I called her in here, and I was like, look at this, see that hand digger? And I said, we're interviewing the guy that made that tonight. She said, really? And then, of course, she was all excited, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So,
can we get your can we get your autograph before you get way too famous?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, funny thing about autographs. So I get my welding gas at Air Gas over here in Ohio, and I talked to the guy, and he didn't believe I knew Gary. He's like, oh no, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, my son, his son is younger. He's like, he loves that guy. So I contacted Gary. This is how awesome Gary is. Gary fills out a poster with his autograph to that kid, and I went the very next time I filled up my gas, and I gave it to him, and I'm like, here you go, give this to your son, and he couldn't believe it. He was ecstatic. So Gary is a good dude. I can give him that.
And some people are asking in the chat, what improvements have you made to your shovel since you first started?
Oh, good question. Well, the number one improvement I made was the weight. My previous shovels were quite a bit heavy, so I had to mess around with my gauges of my metal to come up with a happy medium to where it could still be industrial grade, but it could be lighter. So that was one of my major improvements. My other major improvement was my design and looks. I figured if I was going to come out with something that was going to be cool and appealing to the eye also, that stood out. Like if you say, well, the shovel with the GD in it, it just pops, So those were my main improvements. And when I first started making the shovels, I was using round. Now my biggest probably constructional improvement is the square shafting. Probably the only guy that makes the shovel out of a square shaft.
Now, is there a reason for that?
Yes. Well, coming from the building industrial equipment, I mean, if you think logistics of square at an angle, at a diamond angle, opposed to a round, you're at I looked this up. You're like 3 times stronger force if it's welded at the diamond the way I'm welding it than a round tube is.
Man, that makes good sense. And I mean, you could prop rocks and everything else with it, and then it shouldn't.
Well, that's yeah. When I first demoed them and I first made the new square ones, and I went outside and I tried to break it. I got them heat treated, and I got them back, and I'm trying to break it. I'm jumping up and down. I went inside and I was shaking because I knew that this was the one that nobody was going to be able to break, or if they tried to break it, they would fail.
Yeah.
Then I chopped down a pine tree.
I seen the pine tree. You chopped down the pine tree, and it didn't take just a few swipes, and it cut that pine tree. And it wasn't really a small pine tree. It was, a fairly good. It was
a nice. It was 19 wax. I think I counted it at one point. But I'm like, let me demo this thing to see. The tree was my tree. It wasn't nobody else's tree, and it was getting removed anyway. So I figured let me go ahead and get some wax and see what this thing is made of.
So even though it would make a good camping shovel, even if you didn't use it for metal detecting, I mean, you would have a knife, you would have axe, you would have a shovel, you would have everything in one.
And if you got attacked by a bear, you've also got a weapon that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my customers and a lot of people on Facebook call them zombie killers. So if you want to call them that, you can call them that too.
Yep. Hey, guys, we got another commercial break, and we'll be right back. If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Mine Lab, Garrett, XP-DES, and macro detectors and supplies, and also carries many aftermarket items. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any question that you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 or visit his website at www.murraybranchoutdoors.com. And be sure and tell him Relics Radio sent you. And we thank the world of Tim Henderson and Murray Branch Outdoors. By the way, Tim Henderson is the one that's giving away the Mine Lab Equinox 600. Are we going to do that tonight? Don't know. We'll let you know as we kind of get to the top of the hour on that. Hey, Eric, I want to ask you a question here. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm forced to. Why is your shovel better than a Lash or a Predator shovel?
Oh, I get that question all the time. I mean, that's not a difficult question to answer. Well, first of all, it's a tool. So being with anything, everybody got their preference. So, I mean, personally, for somebody, they're going to think that shovel might be better than my shovel, and you're going to have another guy's preference that thinks my shovel's better than his shovel. At the end of the day, they're shovels. It's preference. It's a tool. But as far as maybe price goes, it might be a better bet for somebody that has a lower budget. I work with people. I always throw out discounts and around the holidays, and every once in a while have like I'm going out of stock or something, so I have some left, so I give them for a good price. So I don't know if somewhere along the lines of that, I would say would maybe set me apart as far as price-wise. Strength-wise, nobody has broken one of my shovels, so I can't say that they're bending like crazy. So I don't know. George makes some excellent American-made tools, and I will never, that is definitely he's definitely been proven in the industry for a long, long time.
And I went to your website and I was looking at the prices, and you cannot beat your prices, but I mean they are great. And I mean for anybody that's on a budget, or I mean even if not on a budget, it's still a great deal for what you're getting in that shovel. And then the paint jobs on them are great.
And
it's all powder coated.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all powder coated. It's all welded. Everything's welded by me. I'm trying to keep my price for that reason. I don't want to price people out. There's a lot of involvement in building the shovels and getting them made, and the heat treating process to make sure they're tough and durable. There's a lot of steps and procedures, and I try to market my margin to where I'm not going to, overprice it on the market when it really doesn't have to be.
And
that's right.
And that's something about American-made products too. We take pride in what we make. We put our heart and our soul into that. And whenever you have a small business like you do, and we're going to talk about the evolution of it and what your plans are, what your hopes and dreams are for the future, you're going to do everything that you can to put the best product at the best price out on the market, because that's what the market does. It forces you to make something good and affordable,
Absolutely.
doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yes. I mean, your customers are number one. So yeah, you want to put out a very good product, and the second thing is customer service, knowing that they could pick up the phone and I'm going to answer, or I'm going to get back with them and resolve any questions they might have. So, I mean, yeah, but as a pride standpoint, it's definitely a lot of pride that goes into it because, I work a full-time job on top of Gravedigger Tools with the full family. And my son, he's 7 now, and he's starting to look up to me, and it would mean so much if I can really get this thing jump started and integrate my son into it and just build it like that. That's the dream, that's the hope. And just to keep working at that and keep looking forward and try not to get too many setbacks and just keep pushing positive. That's my focus. Yeah. That's why I have so much pride in it.
Yeah. And we had a couple of people looking for the hand diggers. Do you, I didn't see any on your website. Where's a good place to go to look at pictures of your hand diggers?
Okay. Well, they'll be on my site here shortly. Everything is out of stock right now. Christmas completely wiped me out, and I wasn't expecting it. So I got caught with my pants down, and I think I sold 50 or 60 shovels during 3 weeks in December. And to a big company, that's nothing. But to me, that was a lot.
Uh-huh. So
trying to absorb that and trying to get ready on how I'm going to bounce back. So that's why, yeah, I do have them, and I redesigned the Sidekick now. So I'll show. There's some pictures online, but and that will be rolling out real soon. I'm in the middle of getting my Florida trip, the Central Florida metal detecting trip I got planned in April. I got some shovels I need to take down there, and I'm making some to put on my website as well. So that will be very soon. I appreciate everybody being patient with me. It's been a kind of a tough ride here for the past couple months because of that.
And we got another question. Woody Jones wanted to know, the hand diggers that you sell, do they come with a sheath, or do you have
sheath?
Yeah.
Well, there's a backstory behind that too. I'm currently looking for a sheath maker, somebody that can make me a nice American-made sheath. I don't want to put my shovel in no kind of like nylon made in China plastic thing. I kind of want a nice sheath. And I had somebody that ripped me off. I don't know if you want me to say it or not, but he ripped a lot of people off in the detecting community. His name was Jolly Rogers Leatherworks. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but I had one designed up. I had stamps made and sent to him, and so that was, I haven't bounced back from that yet to find me a sheath maker, but I'm looking for one. So if anybody wants to get in contact with me and has any kind of suggestions, I'm more than open to take those.
And since one of your hand diggers has premiered there on the Curse of Oak Island, is it foreseeable in the future that you might name that hand digger the Oak Island version of that or something? Or can you do that?
No, I don't know. I honestly, I probably don't think I can do that. Gary had mentioned, what's that?
Well, I was just going to say, you could mention in your ad that it is the digger that was used on Oak Island. There wouldn't be anything wrong with that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, Gary had personally told me that I can do that, and I have not yet because I don't know. I just have not mentioned that he's using my shovel or this and that. Honestly, I'm not trying to bounce off of that. I think this product, when people buy it, it speaks for themselves. And right now, that's working for me good. It was just a bonus for Gary to even see my shovel off of a contest that I was putting, and then he contacted me. So to me, that's just a blessing. Anyways.
Well said, I tell you, because we reached out to Gary Drayton to have him on as a guest, and there's a lot of non-disclosure stuff that goes on with that. He currently can't do that, but we're looking forward maybe in the future, sometime in the near future, of possibly getting Gary on. What were you going to ask, Jeff?
I was going to ask, Mark Hoover's wanting do you plan on making any sand scoops anytime soon?
Yes. Once I grow to a little bit bigger, I actually have a really good idea on a sand scoop, and I've been asked a ton of times about a sand scoop, and I have one designed, and I have not released nothing yet. I haven't built nothing yet, but I do have one designed, and I cannot give you a date when when that will be, but I do have one design, and it's going to be a little bit more time for me to get that rolling.
Is it going to be out of aluminum?
I don't know if I'm going to do stainless or aluminum. I'm leaning towards aluminum, lighter, but it definitely will have where all the holes are that are perforated holes, usually in the sand scoops. It's all going to be laser cut like GD emblems. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be a sweet sand scoop for sure.
It does sound like. I can't wait. And of course, I don't need a sand scoop. Well, maybe once or twice a year, but I'll promise you I'll be getting one as soon as you come out with them.
And obviously, you probably make some of those long-handled and some short-handled, won't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to throw it. You got to kind of throw the smaller version in the handheld one and the bigger version. Same thing with the shovels. I mean, you got people that like to carry them, like to travel with them. So 27-inch, 18-inch. They like those just for that purpose.
Yeah. And we've got looks like about 3 minutes till we come up on another hard break. What do you see the evolution of Gravedigger Tools being? Are you going to quit your job and go full-time into this as a business, or what's your thoughts on it?
It is a legitimate business as of right now. Now, I did file my taxes and I did everything. It's legitimate. It's that step, though, that you just mentioned. It's that step. Okay, the percentage of small businesses succeeding is slim, anyways. And I got 3 kids and a wife, and honestly, that is the goal. But I have to be very cautious on how I do that, because I don't want to sacrifice losing anything. You know what I mean? It's just it's a lot of thought process put into it. But the goal is to eventually roll this thing out to where, we can do that. I mean, that's why I'm working hard. That's why you get in business, right? To eventually work for yourself. But it's not that easy. People think, oh, you put out this awesome product, you're doing good. No, it's not. You put yourself in a lot of risky situations. You put a lot of money out. Luckily for me, I'm not in debt. I try not to take no loans out. I'm trying to make the business pay for itself and grow accordingly. But it's a lot of strategic planning and thinking when you're trying to start a business. But yes, definitely. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you were saying, everybody's thinking, well, you've got a good product and you ought to go on your own, quit everything and just do this full time. And it's real hard. Yeah, it's easy to say that.
It's so much easy to say that. And, I don't even listen to people that tell me that anymore. I can't take it. It is definitely a step that can jeopardize you and your family, and you got to definitely think smart about it.
That's right. We had a question. A bird dog. He was asking about a water hunting pick and magnet combo. Would you ever think about doing something like that?
The water hunting what?
Pick. You know how they use the pick in water hunting and with the magnet on the end of it.
The earth magnet or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of integrating a magnet somehow in my lineup. I haven't really thought too much into it, but yeah, I don't know about a pick.
Yeah, it's like you're a busy man the way it's going now. So, and then
I'm trying to focus on my main products, and then I just got that snub nose that came out. It's a smaller, it's half the size of a Nemesis. So people were asking me because, when they yard hunt or they want a smaller shovel, they don't want something that looks like it's going to chop their yard half the pieces when they're asking for permission. So I rolled out a smaller version that ain't, it's still aggressive looking. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit smaller. So
yeah, you go up on a porch and you've got a huge weapon there with the initials GD cut into it and say, "I want to dig your yard."
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
Hey guys, we got one more commercial break. We'll be right back.
All right.
If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671. And be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. And for those of you that don't know, I am now the producer and also the co-host on American Digger Relic Roundup every Monday night. So if you're not doing anything Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, come over there and join us on that show. Hey, Eric, you've got some plans for 2019. Why don't you tell us about some of those?
Oh, the plans for the Florida hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm heading down in April to the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club. Carolyn, I went last year. She invited me back this year. And let me tell you, her and Mark Hoover are just the nicest people you could possibly meet. So, me and my wife and my kids went down last year and we had a blast. I'm like, I have to do this again next year. And here we go again. We're heading down there. I'm getting some shovels made. I'm going to have some merchandise and, we just making a family trip out of it. And, it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. That's my plans as far as the next month go. And then once I get back from Florida, it's going to be nothing but busy.
Oh, I bet. I've seen all your work you've got to do once you get back. So, when you go down to Florida, I mean, how many shovels are you going to take down there with you?
Last year I took probably too many, but I sold quite a bit. I do give discounts down there, so people, it's always like an event price. So it's usually like $10 off the shovel, and plus they don't have to pay shipping, obviously, because you're there. I'll have probably at least 20 shovels, 25 maybe, but no more than that.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good. I mean, do you hunt the beaches while you're down there?
No, I don't hunt the beaches down there when I'm down there. I don't even have a sand scoop, to be honest with you.
Well,
I need to make one so I can have one. I don't,
You know what, Jeff? I get the distinct impression that Eric has become like Digging with Seven. We used to hunt, and then we get into making shovels and doing podcasts and all of that, and we don't get to hunt anymore. Am I right, Eric?
It consumes your time, and from the early stages of me getting into the hobby, it almost happened that quick. Like, it's amazing how quick it did happen, and then next thing you know, I'm like putting a post on Facebook and social media asking people, what should I name my shovels? And boom, it just rolled out like that. And next thing you know it, I haven't detected in I don't know how long now. It's like, it's like, the hobby is great, and I do need to somehow get out. For one, it's freezing cold up here now.
Yeah.
But
it won't be when you get down to Florida, though.
No, I'm looking forward to that. Honestly, I just want to sit in the resort and swim and spend some time with the kids outside, meet some people. I might head over to Kelly Co and see them, but I haven't been down there yet. I didn't go last year. I want to go check them out.
You know that Carolyn is with Kellyco now, don't you?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Yeah.
So I want to go take a tour of that place, and that'll be fun. And maybe she can give me the tour too while I'm down there.
Yeah, that would be a great tour. I've never been, and then I would love to go. So, and then of course I was going to go back to you doing all your work right now in Ohio. The ground is so froze. Right now would be a good time to do your work because you can't go out digging.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Hey, looking at your, I think it's on your Facebook group page, you've got some artwork there. Who did that for you?
Artwork on what?
On showing you, it's kind of a green where you're holding a shovel and everything, the main...
Oh, yeah, that cartoon picture?
Yeah.
Oh, that was, you know what? Gordon Madison, and he's from Florida. He made it for me. I woke up one morning and he's like, I made you this, and I just posted. I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is, and Gordon is in the chat here now. And I kind of thought that's who, you can see people's artwork, and I tell you what, he is an amazing artist. There's no doubt about it. And but when you see two or three things that a person has done, they have a certain character to them, and a certain signature. And whenever I seen that, I thought, I bet you Gordon did that. It's great, and it's a great header to have on your Facebook page there.
Oh yeah. I was like, I just got to put that up. That's pretty cool. He took the time, because doing that stuff it takes time, It takes time out of somebody's day to be creative and do that for you. So I'm like, man, I don't know what to say. I appreciate that.
Man, that is good. Mark Hoover wants to know.
Gordon. What's that?
Mark Hoover wants to know, since you don't get to metal detect much, can we come and metal detect your yard?
Absolutely. You guys can come up anytime and take a gander at it if you want to. It's open. I don't have time to even go out there.
We may need one of those Gravedigger tools as hard as the ground is, though, Jeff.
Yeah, or dynamite. But who come out with the GD logo?
Oh, the logo was actually it's a little bit of a backstory with Dwight with the New Age Goonies. I don't know if you guys are familiar. He's pretty. He's been with me since day one. So he had put faith in me, and from when I first started, he contacted me. He was buying my shovels, and in the beginning stages, they weren't as good made as they are now, obviously. But he's been riding with me since day one, and his buddy Stan Benjamin. I honestly drew up a logo with a skull, and it was pathetic. It was pitiful, and that was my logo. And he was like, dude, I gotta make this better because this doesn't look. So he made that Gravedigger Tools logo. I fell in love with it. He gave it to me. So that was, and I'm like, oh man. So that kind of saved my logo.
Isn't this it
was horrible.
Isn't this an amazing community where people just reach out to other people and help out like that?
Absolutely, man. And I'm overwhelmed on how many people, how they actually respect your work, because the people that are in this community they thrive off of like American made stuff. They're all working people like me. I'm a working person, so we can all relate. You know what I mean? And it's just they've been absolutely incredible when it comes to me putting my shovels out, giving me input. Without these guys giving me input, they're the ones that made this shovel evolve kind of how they are now today. Because without their suggestions or their thoughts or their ideas, that's how things happen.
And we had Allison Walker on our show, an amazing woman herself, and digger, treasure hunter, what have you. But I realized how large that this family is whenever we had her on and talking to her, and hear you're naming people that are helping you that don't even live in Ohio. I mean, it breaks all the geographical barriers. not only in the U.S., we have people that reach out to us from other countries. We don't even speak their language. I mean, we have to get some of the comments that they make. We have to run them through a translator or something. It's just amazing to me that a community so wide and so diverse can be so cooperative with one another.
That's right.
It's great.
And it's funny seeing your Relics radio on a car radio, and it's wrote out Relics radio, and they're in Australia, so it's pretty neat.
Wow.
There you go.
Technology.
Yeah, technology.
Speaking of family, do you have any family members that help you right now with your shovels?
My wife. My wife is my rock. I tell you, if without her, she doesn't physically help me with the shovels, but the second hardest part is all the paperwork, all the shipping, all the labels. We do everything here. I mean, we don't have a shipping department or anything. It's us, Mm-hmm. And I tell you, she's the strongest person. She's the one that's been helping me out the most. She'll have a kid in her hand, feeding the kid, yelling at a kid, and then printing off a shipping label. So I tell you what, I give it to her. She makes it happen.
Well, I hope one day that you'll have everybody, employees that's doing all that for you. And I mean, if you keep working hard at it like that, it sounds like it's going to go that way.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm working towards it.
Hey, guys, we are past our syndication point, and there was a lot of people, I said that last week, and there was a lot of people say, what do they mean whenever they say that? Our show is syndicated worldwide, and it's picked up by the Cutting Edge Radio Network, but we can only have 55 minutes of showtime on that, and then they add their commercials at the front of it and at the end of it. And so that's what we mean when we get to the end of our syndicated part of the show. So the rest of this, people overseas are probably not going to hear unless they pick up the archive version on Spreaker or iHeart or iTunes or Podbean or Apple Podcast and all those other 500 million places that we're at. We are the world-famous Relics Radio. But anyway, we're going to open up the phone lines now. The number is 270-495-0315. If you've got a question or you just want to talk to Eric, call in 270-495-0315. And Jeff has put that number in the chat.
And, in the syndicated version, they could only handle like 55 minutes of 2.5 rednecks. So that's probably why they can't go any longer.
That's that redneckanese that Bill was talking about there. And I don't mind giving out his name. That was Ohio Relic Hunter. And right on cue, we do have a call in. Aggie Hall. What's going on tonight, Aggie?
Not too much. It's a little cold in Ohio. We still have snow here. But
Aggie, hi.
Hey, Eric.
Hey.
Hey, I was just calling to kind of make a point for people that are just starting out in the hobby, that buy the best of anything if you can afford it. And if you can't afford it at that time, buy good used or save up for something that's, new. And the way I look at it is you're putting out so much money. It's an investment, to be in this hobby, buying good equipment, because, if you get out there and a shovel breaks, you're done for the day, and whether it be, that could be, you're 10 miles away from home, or, like Denny or Barb or, whoever goes to these, larger out-of-state hunts, you're talking about being down for, until you get another shovel, but I was one of Eric's first customers.
Oh my God. Yes. I'll never forget. Listen, I had painted her a sparkly pink shovel, sparkly pink with hearts cut out in them. I still have pink.
I know. Yeah, you still have glitter all over. You told me that. But Eric's a good dude, and his shovels, I have his old style, but people that I know that have, that are using the ones that he's putting out now, just great products, and then the other story that I have, besides, being one of his first customers, is, and this is kind of funny and not so funny at the same time. My grandma, she was 96 years old, and she was dying in hospice. And we went to, the hospice center to visit her on Thanksgiving Day. And, I just throw on, whatever. I'm not thinking, I throw on a T-shirt and, walk down the hall, and, my mom and I were sitting there with her, and my mom looks over and I have my Gravedigger T-shirt on. with the cross shovel.
You don't want to wear it at the hospice.
Yeah, not a good thing. Luckily, there was nobody in the halls when I walked down to see her, and then when I walked out, my mom gave me her sweater. So, but yeah, those are my stories. So, but I just wanted to call in and just say that Eric is an upstanding guy and stands by his product, and it's a great product. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Aggie. I appreciate it.
Okay, I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Aggie.
Thanks for the call. Yeah.
You're welcome. Bye.
That goes, of course, I was a first responder at my last employer. And, of course, we went through training for CPR, and the paramedics, they were teaching us, and then, of course, how fast to pump the chest. And then, of course, they was like, well, take the beat, another one bites the dust, and then as you go, boom, 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 another one bites the dust. And then they said, well, just don't say another one bites the dust as you're doing it. So, that goes along with the Gravedigger shirt.
So we can conclude now. You said that you used to custom paint your shovels and you quit doing that. We know now Aggie Hall put a stop to that because of all the pink glitter.
I still have glitter everywhere.
Oh, do you really?
No, it's on my lawnmower.
And then went to hospice and created all kind of mayhem by wearing one of your Gravedigger shirts. Oh man, that's just too funny.
And of course, it never fails glitter. It gets everywhere. And then, of course, got my son something for Christmas had glitter on it, and of course we still have it everywhere. It's terrible. The dogs had it all over them. It was a big mess.
Hey, yeah. Eric, we've got a question that came in the chat. And by the way, guys, phone lines are still open, 270-495-0315. The question, and I've got to get back to it now, comes from Scott Hansen, and he said, can a person resharpen your shovels if they get dull?
Yeah, every kind of shovel has a wear on it. It's a tool, right? So it's going to need resharpen probably eventually. Years down the line, there's a way to resharpen it. If you know what you're doing, that goes with any shovel with serrations. You gotta know what you're doing with the hand grinder. And honestly, I tell people this whenever years so down the line, whatever. If you want to send me it, I'll do it for free. You have no worries. If you want me to do it, send it to me. I'll ship it back to you. And that'll be a done deal. If you're not good with hand tools or not something like that, or if you don't have somewhere local to do it.
And we had a call that came in 4226, and you dropped out. We have to leave you on hold until we get to a break where we can call you in. So if you want to, you can call back in. But I don't know what happened there.
But Eric, I was thinking about the shovels. Of course, you sell a bunch of shovels. It's so good of a product. You only have to buy one shovel, and it'll last you a long time. And then, of course, that goes in with if you send it back in and you sharpen it. So, one shovel will last you a lifetime, pretty much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you make a good piece of equipment, like old pieces of equipment, old lathes, old mills, all that older industrial made equipment that was built back in the day. That stuff still works to this day. I mean, it's just built to last, right? Why are we losing that? Why are we losing that feel of making stuff that's supposed to be built to last?
That's exactly right.
We got another call in. Last four numbers are 5529. Who have we got, and what's your question for Eric?
Well, my name's Sam, and I really didn't have a question. I just wanted to brag. It's going to be 73 degrees down here in North Florida tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I just want to add that, and I'll be out there on that beach.
Well, we hope you find something.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure do.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.
Okay.
Let's rub it in.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call. I tell you what, it's not going to be that warm here, but it's going to be warmer. But that's just kind of salt in the wound to you, isn't it, Eric?
It's all right, man. I could take a little bit of a joke and enjoy it for me. I'll be working.
Yeah.
And, I've got a lot of good friends that live in Ohio and Indiana. And, of course, I go up there quite often. And down here, we get snow maybe once or twice a year if we're lucky. But once you go up there, it's pretty much snow all winter long. And, it's miserable. So.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's getting dark at 4:30. It's snowing. It's freezing. You can't go outside. I mean, it does take some. I mean, I've been here my whole life, and I still am not used to it.
And I don't know about everywhere else in the country, but here in Kentucky and Tennessee, we change our time this Saturday night. I don't know why they do that at 2 o'clock in the morning. I hate getting up at 2 o'clock and resetting my clocks and everything, don't you, Jeff?
I sure do. I hate doing that. So.
Hey, guys, right out of the blue, we're going to have a giveaway tonight. Are we giving away the Equinox? Not tonight, but we are giving away a Garrett cap, a dig bag, and a silver Cohen ring that will be made for your ring size. Also, what are you going to throw in on that as well, Eric?
Well, I'll tell you, whoever wins, they can contact me on their shirt size, and I'll let them choose either. I got beanie hats or a baseball cap, and I got 3 different shirt colors they can choose from: red, black, green, or like a navy blue. So just contact me, and I'll hook you up with some merchandise and also.
Hey, that's a great big prize. And all of this is going to go to the same person. Now, people are already starting to put numbers in. It's not a number. It's not a number. Those numbers drive us crazy. It's a trivia question. And if you were listening to the show tonight, what was the name of the first shovel that Gravedigger Tools made? We want the name of that shovel. First person that can put that in there, you're going to win the prize package. But you're going to have to call in, too, after you do it. So we're going to start watching the chat here. And they're giving colors. I didn't ask for the color. Bing, 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 ding, ding, ding.
We got a winner.
We got a winner already. Ohio Relic Hunter. Hey, Bill, you're going to have to call in. We're not going to give it to you unless you call in. But it'll just be Ohio Relic Hunter, always kids. He said he gets nervous, and we had him on the show one night, and he said, I went through about 5 shirts because I sweated so much. This call will only be this call will only be a 1-shirt call. So call us real quick, Bill, and talk to us and talk to Eric here, so that we can, he says, oh, no. I'm sorry, that's the deal now.
That's some good prizes. And then, of course, I've got one of them coin rings, and, man, it's awesome. And then,
I do,
Lloyd,
too.
Didn't you lose yours and find it again on the beach with Mark?
Oh, no, I was just kidding with Mark. I had that I had that in my dig little container thing. And got out there on the beach, and I thought, I'll just, we wasn't finding anything there. I eventually did find a ring, and you found one too. But, I dug a hole, and I said, come here, Mark, I got a ring. Here he come. He had his camera all out and everything. And so he was filming. But, they're great rings. And we do have the infamous Ohio Relic Hunter on. What's going on, Bill?
Hey, Lloyd. What's going on, guys? I appreciate it.
Not much.
I actually had Nemesis typed in before you even finished asking that question, Lloyd.
Oh, really? Well.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
Well,
those of you that don't know Bill Marsh and the immense knowledge that this man has, he listens to just about every show that I've ever participated in the chat. Bill is always there. He is an absolute wealth of knowledge. Knowing the answer to things before you even ask them, though, is stepping it up to the next level.
Yeah. Excuse me, guys, while I change my shirt real quick.
Oh, man.
No, actually, I've got a little bit of a history with Eric, to be honest with you. I've met him at CWPPO one year, and I think it was the second year. And then prior to that, Eric and I talked, and we had one of his prototypes that he made for me. It was a custom 36-inch, and I believe it was... I think it was Candy Burgundy or something, wasn't it, Eric?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was during my custom days for sure.
Yeah,
but
so
yeah.
we agreed
we have a little bit
to have that. Yeah. We agreed to have that. He was going to send it to me, and I was going to take it to the first CWPPO, kind of show it off, and also test it out, give my opinion on it, and that type of thing. And unfortunately, the mail ran late, and I didn't get it till the day after. Day I got back home from the first event. So I wasn't able to take it up to CWPPO, but boy, I'll tell you what, even though that was a prototype, that thing was a root killer out in the woods. So, and these new shovels he has are even better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
I appreciate it. Congratulations, Bill, on the win, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
And
definitely.
Bill, if you'll just send me a Facebook message on Messenger, give me your address and everything, and then I'll send it over to Eric or Mark Hoover. Just run it all through Mark Hoover. Let Mark Hoover do some work here tonight.
Mark already has my address, so I don't even think I have to do any more. I think calling in was enough for me.
Okay.
I changed my second search.
All right.
But you can attest to the quality of this shovel then, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's great.
For sure. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I believe somebody mentioned in the chat earlier that you had an orange one out. I think you only made those for 1 year, didn't you?
I made those. Those were strictly for the CWPPO. I made orange shovels for that event, and it was a Hunter orange, which actually is a great color. And I think I should come back out with that because during hunting season, people like to have that bright orange everywhere. And when they're out in the field hunting, and you just want to stand out as much as you can. So that's why that shovel was so sought out.
Man, that is a great idea. Just don't make one out of a Tennessee orange. Now, that'd be bad news.
Hey,
all right, guys. I know you got the rest of the show to do, and I'm going to go ahead and change my third shirt, and I will talk to y'all later.
Hold on a minute, Bill. Hold on, because Tim Henderson. By the way, Tim Henderson in Murray Branch Outdoors is the one that gave away the cap and the dig bag and the silver coin ring. He wants to know if you want a land dig bag or a water digging pouch. Which one would you prefer?
Option.
Land dig bag for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Because even though you can always get those ones wet too in a pinch.
Yeah, you can. Sure can. Okay, go change your shirt. Appreciate it. Appreciate
all right,
the call.
guys. Hey, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye. Thanks, bud.
Congratulations, yeah. Think the world of that man. I tell you what, I've never had the opportunity to meet him. I can't wait to get up to Ohio and get to dig with Bill and get to meet him and maybe get one of those Ohio Wheaties, right, Jeff?
That's right. Well, I'd love to find a few more myself. And, well, like you said earlier, we just don't have them down here. So I guess we're going to have to go up that way during the spring.
Yeah.
Or we better wait till summer. So we can go up there hunt during the summer.
Come springtime, you might be hitting some snow still. So
that's right.
You got to be careful up here.
Well, I tell you what, in June and July, it gets too hot for us to hunt here. August too, really. So we might plan some kind of something for June. What does June look like up there?
Oh, June. Oh, you know, it's not as hot as down there, but it can get hot. We got our hot days, but it's like it's sporadic. It's not like 90 degrees for like a week straight. You know, you're getting drops in there, so it doesn't get as hot.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe they'll have the hopefully they'll have the CWPPO. I'd like to go up there and do a live show. We do live shows at we were at Chattanooga back in July. And then we were in Charleston, South Carolina, back a month or so ago. Well, it was in January. And I'd like to go to CWPPO and do a live show from there as well. I love those live events, don't you, Jeff?
I do. It's a real good time, and then I mean, it's you've got your guest right there in front of you, and then we would just go through the show and pick guests out, and it's like, hey, can you be our guest? And they'd be like, yeah, I guess so. And then of course, next thing they'd change 3 or 4 shirts, and then we get some that was used to being on the radio, and then they'd be real good guests. So, but all of them was real good guests. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they are. Hey guys, phone lines are still open. We still got a few minutes. If you want to call in, 270-495-0315. If you've got a question for Eric, and while we're waiting for somebody else to call in. And by the way, guys, in the description on this show, I do have the Facebook and the website and his YouTube channel. But go ahead and talk about all of those, if you will, Eric.
Well, as far as the website goes, as I mentioned a couple of times, yeah, that's my website. And currently, everything's out of stock, but eventually here soon, real soon, I'll fill it back up. And my social media, my Facebook is probably my number one place where I do all my advertising. I do all my posting. Then Instagram too, Gravedigger Tools, and on Instagram is probably my second. And I've been slacking tremendously on my YouTube channel, putting together videos and stuff like that. It's real time consuming, and I honestly I haven't had time to do too much on my YouTube channel. But yeah, all that stuff is a great place to see some stuff, and there's some reviews and stuff of my site on YouTube if you Google it too, or search it in YouTube. So yeah, those are pretty much my 3 social media platforms that I do have.
Yeah,
as of now.
And Jeff, you had another question that came out of chat, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Gordon Madison, he was asking about your son's selling abilities.
Oh yeah, yeah. My son is an excellent salesman. He's 7 years old. He went down to Florida with me last year, and I tell you what, he took over, and who can tell a kid no, right?
That's right.
Anyways, so honestly, it's a great marketing strategy, but it was not even meant to be like that. He just took over. I was talking to somebody, and I think Dwight or videoed or Stan Benjamin might have videoed him. Why he was talking about my shovels, and he was explaining them to the T on price, on what's the differences, and all this and that. So it was great to watch that video when my back was turned, and see him in action. So he maybe potentially could be a sales guy for Gravedigger Tools.
Now, how old is he?
He is 7 years old.
That's what I thought you said. Oh,
he was
yeah.
6 last year, so.
Yeah, so this is going to be even more of a family affair. Got the wife taking care of the paperwork and stuff like that, and your son out there doing the sales pitch, and you making the tools.
Yeah.
I see this thing going far, don't you, Jeff?
I sure do, and it's like a lemonade stand. I mean, how many times have you walked by a lemonade stand and a kid be like, you want to buy a glass of lemonade, and even if you don't like lemonade, you still buy a glass.
Yeah, it's just it was kind of like that, but it was fun. It was fun for him to be out there. It was actually fun to watch him take over like that. It amazed me, honestly. I was shocked. I'm like, what are you doing? You're 6. You're 6.
Well, it's amazing.
Have a future.
It's amazing, though, that he has he stepped up, and is interested in some things that you're interested in, and I see a family partnership for a long time, and that's the great part of it, is to get everybody involved and let them do what they can, because I tell you what, you'll look up one of these days and he'll be grown and gone away from home. So get all of it that you can right now, all the time that you can spend with him, you know.
That is exactly right. And of course, little Avery today, I had my neighbor come by, and of course he was looking out the window at both of us. We were out there talking, and of course he was like just looking through the window, like, "What are you doing, Daddy?" And then of course that's just priceless, just seeing him stare through the window. And then, but yeah, kids are great.
My dad, and I can't hardly go through a show without telling a story, but my dad used to have dump trucks, and he had a couple of guys that were driving for him, and I was a big chicken lover. I love chickens, and I got me a couple of them. You know, you used to get them at Easter whenever you got a new pair of shoes. I got a couple of little chicks, you know, and brought them in, and I petted them and just carried them around with me and trained them. I mean, they would actually get on my shoulders. I'd ride my bicycle down the road, but Daddy'd have some of those guys, they'd come in the afternoon, you know, and I always wanted to get up in the dump truck and drive, and so I'd holler to my chickens. I'd say, "Come on," you know, and we'd jump up in the dump truck there and act like we was driving, and Daddy out there talking, you know, and of course I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to what they're doing. He said, "Hold on just a minute," you know, and walk over at the truck. He said, "Boy, you and them chickens got to get out of there." Said they're leaving them little pellets all over the seat. You know? Oh
wow.
Man. Of course, you live
memories like that.
Yeah, you live as
memories like that, you know.
Yeah, you live as long as I have, and you got a lot of memories and a lot of stories like that to tell. No doubt about it. Hey, Eric, you've been an absolute wonderful guest here tonight. We're coming down to the bottom of the hour. Is there anything that you were wanting to say before we get out of here tonight?
No, not really. I mean, we covered pretty much everything. I just want to thank you too for actually putting me on the show and giving me the opportunity to tell my story and how everything started, and it's just been a blessing to be on here. So I just appreciate that. You know, that's the only thing I want to say as far as that goes.
Been great to have you. What about you, Jeff?
It's been great, Eric. I mean, you've been a great guest, and I can't wait to get one of them shovels. And, of course, thanks for everybody in the chat. This is the reason we do this show, and thanks for the callers that we had. And everybody have a blessed night.
Yeah, and when you get down there to the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club, you tell everybody that we said hi. We're not going to get to go to that. Maybe next year we can get down that way and do that show. I'd love to get down that way with Mark and Gail. We got to meet them whenever we were at the Charlotte show, and they're just great people. You're going to be in good hands. There's no doubt about that. Of course, you know that because
I knew. Yeah, it's my second year. I mean, they're more than outstanding people. They put a lot of work and effort into doing what they're doing and pulling these events together. It's a lot of work, man, and they do it, and they do an excellent job with getting people, with getting guests, with getting the prizes and giveaways, and everything is well coordinated. Of course, Mark's helping out with all that, but I mean, it just is. I mean, it's and not only that, the people are just amazing. I mean, I'm really looking forward to taking this vacation and going down there and spending the day with them guys.
Yeah, I know that you are. Sure are. And, there's, it's just good for you to take your product down there, meet as many people as you can. I mean, that's part of business. But you can enjoy you can enjoy it while you're doing that as well, you know.
Yeah, I get invited to quite a few hunts, but I just can't make them all.
Yeah,
I can't make them all.
Yeah,
and especially around this time, there's a lot going on, a lot of hunts going on. It's springtime, and you got a lot of people, and I get bombarded with messages on, can I donate a shovel here, and can I donate a shovel here? And if I haven't responded to you guys, I apologize. I get so many of them, and I can't answer everybody, and I can't definitely give a shovel away to everybody. But I try to work things out with people, especially groups that I'm aware of that I know of. So,
well, that's good, and it's good advertisement. But obviously, you're in this to try to make a living too, and you can't give everything away, and you're always going to find somebody that wants something for free. And we do appreciate.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate you throwing in some gifts here tonight. And
no problem.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations to Bill Marsh for winning that. You guys hang on the line, and I'll be back as soon as I close the show out here. Hey, guys, appreciate everybody that has listened tonight. Eric was a great guest. All of our guests are great. Next week, we've got Carl Fismer, so you won't want to miss that show. And by the way, we're still going to give away this Equinox 600. Don't know if we're going to do it the next week. We're going to do it in March. I'll guarantee you that. But you got to be live, so we got to have you come back again, and you're going to have 3 minutes to call. Now, if you haven't gone to Relics Radio Facebook group page, go there to the official Equinox giveaway. This is from Tim Henderson and Murray Branch Outdoors. Write a short review. I think Mark said 7 words or less. Kind of hard to do that, but keep it short. Tell us what you like about Relics Radio. That really does mean something to us, and we're picking up some tips, things that we're doing that are good, things that maybe we need to do more of. So go and give just a short review. I will give you a number. I'm not going to tell you when we're going to close this contest, but we're going to close it, and then we're going to do a random number draw, and we're going to have, I think, 5 numbers, and then we're going to put those 5 numbers in a pot, and we'll draw those out. You're going to have to be live, and we're going to give you 3 minutes to either call in, or in the case of Bill Marsh, if he wins it, to put it in the chat that you have recognized that you are the winner. And somebody's going to win a great metal detector. I tell you, I use one. I know that they are good, and you're going to love it. If you like shows like this, check out Beyond Sight and Sound with Josh Kimmel on Sunday night and Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. All Metal Mode with Mike Hare and Gypsy is on Monday night at 8 o'clock. American Digger Relic Roundup with Butch Holcomb, Jeff Lupert, and myself. We're on at 9 o'clock on Monday night. That's Eastern Time. Hardcore Metal Detecting, Derek Asklar and Craig Talley are on Thursday nights and Saturday nights at 8 o'clock. And I know that Pauline has been under the weather, and hopefully she's doing better. They've missed a few shows because of that, but our thoughts and prayers go out to Pauline. And XP Team USA with Dave Kimmel and Grant Hansen, they're on every other Friday night at 8 o'clock. And obviously, me and Jeff and Half Redneck Mark Hoover, we're going to be right back here next Thursday night on Relics Radio, 8 o'clock Eastern. Join us. Thank you so much for joining us on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other podcast outlets. Relics Radio is also syndicated on GoodTalkRadio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Please take a minute and hit the like button, and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Digging with 7 or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook group page or Adventures in History on Facebook. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to relicsradio@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us for our next episode, and until then, get out there and dig some history.